to kind of start off, what has the start of the camp been like for you, and kind of what's your routine been? How's everything been going?
It's been going great. We've just been working out, conditioning with the strength coaches, and then practicing with our position coaches, getting some walkthrough reps in, and then have 2 to 3 virtual meetings for the rest of the day. It's been a tedious process, being able to go through things kind of in a slow motion OTA facet, be able to get ready for the start of training camp with Pad. So I'm excited to keep going and get ready for the season.
You've been able to be on the field with the entire offense. What stuck out to you, places that you like and places that you feel like, okay, when the season gets here, we got to hone in on this?
Right now, the biggest thing is the details of the plays, just knowing way guard pulls versus a certain front, and then how receivers' routes turn differently versus different coverages of different alerts or different plays. And just getting in the same page with the offensive coordinator and what he wants and a concept when he calls it, and then the objective of what we're trying to get done. And feeling like the more reps we get, the more time we get as a unit, as an offensive unit, we'll be ready to go.
With Alex Smith, where he's at, first of all, what do you think of what he's doing and the possibility of more competition at that position?
I'm excited for Alex. I hope he gets back to full, 100% health. Whoever's in the quarterback room, I have to compete with. And, even though he's not really practicing with the offense, he's still working hard. And even if we get to run against each other, competition and drills, I'm trying to, make sure he gets me better and I get him better. And we look at Alex as somebody as a mentor in the room that can help us every day as far as getting ready for who we're playing each week and who we're getting ready for next week.
And for you, how do you feel in this offense compared to having to learn a new offense at, last year at this time? How different do you feel?
I think having learned NFL offense last season has helped me so much going into this year, just being used to having long verbiage and understand concepts of what we're trying to get done that are similar to what we did last year. And I just, having be a little more mature, being a little older, finding out ways what worked for me last year and what didn't. And I feel a lot better heading into this next week of training camp and a lot better than I did last year going into training camp.
What are the things that you're most excited to see once you get the full team out there, get against the defense? What is the thing that you're most excited about once training camp gets pads on and stuff like that?
Most excited about is the competition, just being able to go against somebody against you across the ball, and having to go against Montez and go against Chase and the rest of our D line, and go against our great corners, and me and Landon go back and forth all the time. So just looking forward to the competition part of football and being able to compete against someone else other than throwing on air, and hopefully just getting some camaraderie and getting team chemistry going that we can go in week 1 and we're all together as a team.
You mentioned the defensive line, Chase and Montez specifically. Do you feel like if you can succeed against this defensive front with those guys, Jonathan Allen and the rest of that group, do you feel like you can succeed against other ferocious defensive lines in the league as well?
So we have a lot to prove, and of course we have a lot of talented first-round picks on the front, and that kind of goes back for me to going back to college, going against the guys I went against in college. So just getting used to having that speed of the game, being sped up in practice to be ready for the game, I think is going to help me out a lot going into week 1, having all the edge rushers we have and the great interior pass rush as well.
I wanted to ask you, Morgan Moses talked with us last week, and he said that he was most impressed by you taking over the role as the starting quarterback and just how you're handling yourself among the teammates. How do you feel like you've settled into that role, even though Ron hasn't maybe named you the starting quarterback yet?
Mostly it's just a mentality going in every day to handling your business on and off the field. And, I just feel you have to have a certain presence and confidence when commanding an offense, when commanding a huddle. And having learned that going into the last couple of games of the season last year, just been trying to, master that, the same edge that a Tom Brady or a Drew Brees has when he steps into a building and that he's there. And not necessarily having me named right now, but just, offense needs one. Offense needs a guy that's going to, take ownership and lead, and why not be me? So that's what I've been doing.
So much has been made, Dwayne, about your ability to throw, but when it comes to you as a runner, what do you think you can add there? Do you think that can be a pretty big part of your game in 2020 and beyond?
Definitely. I definitely want to be a pass-first quarterback. I love throwing from the pocket and dissecting defenses and, making plays, but I feel like me being in really great shape right now, better than I was last year, and then me learning the soft pockets of the where we're at in the pocket, and then being able to extend plays. I feel like with me being in better shape and me working on me being more explosive and a dynamic out of the pocket, I feel like that can be a part of my game that can be slept on a little bit. and that I can use to, make some extra plays or extend a third down, get a first down, and, make some stuff happen, and, got to have a situation. So looking forward to making some plays with my feet this year too.
Kind of unrelated to that, I mean, you threw with Antonio, Terrell Owens, Jerry Jeudy, your guys this offseason. Is there anyone on that list you want to connect with, next offseason, any receiver you're looking to join up with eventually?
I think I'm fun with dang near everybody, but I'll probably do it all again if I could next year. It was a great experience this offseason, having to be able to meet with some NFL legends and, some superstars, and, of course, getting with my guys and, guys like Terry and Steve who want to be just like them, and, just trying to elevate our game and get better. So, whatever we have in store for next offseason, we'll get to it. But I'm excited to get ready for this year.
Dwayne, I just wanted to follow up and say that your rookie season progressed significantly, but maybe just statistically was bogged down by the first few performances. What are your expectations for 2020?
I want to be, a great leader. If I can try to be a captain this year, that'd be something I look forward to, trying to achieve. But just making the most plays possible, making the best situations, not making anything worse than what's going on in the game, and, trying to lead these guys and be a presence in the locker room to help win some games here, and, just be a bright spot in DC.
Sort of along the lines of what JP just asked, we've obviously, every time we talk to somebody on Zoom, there's often a question about you. How do you look? What's the next step? Things like that. And I'm just curious, for you, a successful season for you specifically, what's the next steps? What are the things that you improved on, like the one or two main things that you kind of improved on this year?
The next step is just proving myself right. All the work I put in this offseason, all the sacrifices, extra time spent on and off the field and in the classroom. I just wanted to see that pay off, and no statistical reasons or, any, trying to win any trophies, anything like that. Just being the best quarterback, best teammate, best leader that I can be. And I just work on doing that every day and being better at that. And then hopefully that leads to, some accolades and success down the road. But right now it's just being as best as I can be, and then being a leader for Coach Rivera and this team.
You just mentioned sacrifices. What are some of the things that you thought you kind of did have to maybe put aside or move past in order to get where you wanted to get this offseason?
Some of the things, having to cut some things out of my life. And, that's just with anything, with trying to, achieve greater heights, is to self-aware of yourself and be able to, what you need to work on and what needs to be changed. So that's what I did this off season, and I felt like it's worked tremendously, and it's only the beginning.
How did the workout with Deshaun Watson and Cam Newton come together, and what did you gain most from your time with those guys?
I hit up Odell to work out a couple of days while I was out in LA before training camp got started, and of course hit up one of my quarterback coaches who was able to travel, and me, him, and Deshaun are great friends. So Deshaun was out there actually for I think it was some photo shoot he had to do. So just being able to link with him, and then of course Cam works out at UCLA a lot. So having met both of them prior to, having been real close to Deshaun for the last couple of years, and then really getting to sit down with Cam was just a great, experience to share wisdom and knowledge about the position, about life, and about things that we can help each other. And that was a great conversation I'll probably hold the rest of my life.
You said you feel more comfortable just being in year two, even though you're starting in a new system. What areas do you feel the most comfort? Do you notice the most change coming into this season?
Just being around similar players, that's something that I felt really helped with my confidence, having a lot of the same receivers, same offensive line back for the most part, and having AP back, guys who believe in me. So I feel like that's definitely helped with me being confident going into this offseason and going into this season.
I was kind of wondering what you feel that this staff has done the most for you. What do you like about working with this staff so far?
Love working with the staff more, not more than the last staff, but just in general, just the attention to detail that they have with me. Just being able to work with Zampese on a daily basis, and Coach Del Rio, and having Coach Turner in the Zoom meetings. They're very insightful, play a lot of ball, have been around football pretty much their whole lives. So being able to have those three, and Alex in the room, and even Kyle, he knows a lot about this offense as well. And just how open we are in our communication with learning these new plays and being able to help out each other with something that we may see on this play, what we like to alert, or how our footwork changes versus coverage. It's very open dialogue in the quarterback room, and I'm enjoying it.
Are you guys using a makeshift quarterback room? And if you are, which one is it? And what is the conversation like? Is it different in there? Is it an odd place to kind of work?
I think the Zoom is kind of like, FaceTiming somebody, but you have multiple people in there. So I think we do a great job of just letting each person have the opportunity to share what they feel or what they think about something. And, Zampese always keeps it fresh, and as far as what we're doing. And, it's a great meeting. I don't ever get, bored of it or, look forward to the next one, just enjoying what we got going on.
You've mentioned leadership a couple times now, and it's kind of been the theme through the offseason, but how does one go about being a better leader? What are kind of the steps you have to take? What are things you have to do to become a better leader?
Being a better leader, you have to be able to sit yourself down and, look yourself in the mirror and see what did I do well, what did I not do well, what do I have to improve on, what do I have to keep improving on, and, what are my areas of weakness on and off the field, and how do I make those weaknesses my strengths and how to make my strengths even stronger. And that's something that I worked on this offseason as far as, self-awareness and then, picking out the right workouts to do, how to take care of my body, who to throw to, who not to throw to, where to throw, especially with having this COVID epidemic going on, where to throw, what time to throw, being around who, and just making more calculated decisions. And then, of course, with making better decisions, people start to take notice, and that's how you start to, gain some respect. So that's how I've been leading.
Quarterback is such like a natural leading position, and you've obviously done it your whole life, high school, college. But how different is it trying to lead at the NFL level?
Having to lead in the NFL level is different than previous levels of football, just because you have to deal with some grown men. You got 13, 14-year vets, Hall of Famers, guys who are looking for contract years, guys who are rookies who are trying to prove themselves, and you have just a whole different different perspective and different people in your huddle. And having learned something from Coach Day when I was in school is that leadership isn't about just having one club. You have to have multiple different clubs, different pitches, different wedges, be able to relate to different guys and, different moments in a game or in practice or in a meeting, and know how to get across to someone, even if it's not just the whole room. So, as being a quarterback, being a leader, you have to be able to be versatile in how you lead, and also gain the respect. If you don't have any respect, no one's going to listen to you or no one's going to really follow you. So that's all I've been trying to do is earn that.
Could you talk about the difference now that you've been fully in it without yet being able to fully practice the terminology in this offense versus last year versus, I guess, your final year at Ohio State? Is it easier? Is it similar, comparable in any sort of way? What do you like about it? And I guess, does it make it easier for you in terms of being in the huddle and being able to disseminate the information that you need to disseminate?
Being in a West Coast offense last year, the terms were more verbiage and the tags were longer. It was a little more time to get the plays called in the huddle. In college, it was more so hand signals, so it was easy to decipher what the play was just by having multiple different hand signalers on the field. But this offense is kind of in between both of them. Having some, tempo variances and being able to have one or two keyword plays. And then there are some plays where you have to tag some stuff and a little bit in the number system. But I just like it just because it's something new, being able to learn something and try to master it. And then, of course, Coach Turner having, his father be Norv Turner, and watch how explosive his offenses were when he coached in the NFL and how Scott wants to attack defenses. Looking forward to seeing how he calls plays and, just getting to know him and how aggressive he is in his play calling. I feel like this offense and the system that I'm in, I feel like it really fits me, and I'm looking forward to mastering it.
Just a quick follow-up, but a different thing, and I don't want to put you in a tough spot. Have you been able to talk to, like, Darius since everything that went down, just as a support system, as a friend, as a teammate?
I'm going to give Darius a couple of days just to let him clear his mind and things like that. And I haven't reached out to him yet, but I'm, praying for him in the situation, and then, hoping that the female is okay as well, and that it's unfortunate, but I'm more wrapped into football right now and in training camp and making sure my mind is right, and hope all the best for everyone in that situation. It's unfortunate.
We kind of haven't even really touched much on the COVID situation and coronavirus. A lot of people talking about what's different in the facility. If you want to weigh in on that, that would also be very helpful about just kind of how different it is. But what about the social responsibility and guys holding each other accountable off the field? That seems to be really important, looking what happened with the Marlins, the Cardinals, that's some of the colleges. How important is that for you, and how, I guess, empowered do you feel as a leader to have those conversations with people about being socially responsible off the field?
Being socially responsible is very important for the longevity of the season, and then making sure the guys around us, don't get sick. And, this me being at home with my dogs and, being secluded to a couple members of, family or friends, and then having just my teammates, I feel like it clears a lot of distractions as well, just knowing who you can be around as far as, keeping yourself socially safe, and then, making sure you don't get into contact with anything that can make you sick. especially with having such a fragile, situation where if, one person gets sick in the meeting room and he's been around other players or been around the field with other players, then those players can also be out as well. So just knowing how it's a domino effect and how one person can mess up 20 people and then you don't even have enough to fill a roster for game day. So being able to understand the significance of that and just knowing that this is about football right now and making sure that you hold yourself accountable for your teammates and for your coaches.
You're mentioning about working out with different people over the summer. I'm just wondering, what's the best advice that some of those veterans gave to you going into this season?
Probably just there's a whole bunch of advice and conversations I had with a lot of players and, players who have great history, some who have a little bit of a different past and stuff. But, just having, conversations with Cam and him saying just, be yourself. And it sounds cliche, but, him going through what he went through in Carolina and then going back to college for him, he's been through a lot. So just hearing wisdom from him and how he handled his situation and what was important for him, for his growth, to have that conversation with him. And then, asking T.O. and Chad, who's been with, some really great quarterbacks in the past, what's, this guy like? How's Carson Palmer? How's playing with McNabb when you were McNabb or whoever you were playing with when you were in the NFL, and just, hearing their perspective, hearing how, T.O. was in San Fran, and then just seeing how they grow and how they change and then their process, and then being, 40-year-old retired NFL football players. So just being able to, have those conversations, share those moments, and then, having young conversation with Deshaun and Odell and other guys of that nature. And then, of course, having Terry and having Steve and having Kelvin, guys who are my age who are trying to figure out life as well, just figuring out the importance of knowing that we have each other and that we're able to, bounce off experiences and what we learned from certain things, having those friends and being able to relate to. I feel like it's very important is your success especially as a Black male African-American athlete in America.
One quick follow-up. There's a lot of reports that the Big Ten is going to cancel the football season. What will be your reaction when you see a school like Ohio State and, of course, one locally, Maryland, where you see a whole conference and other conferences cancel the college football program? What would be your reaction to that?
I just feel a lot of hurt and pain for them because I know what it's like to get ready for a season in college, especially with having winter workouts, spring football, summer conditioning, and how much work it is just to get to football time and all the time spent trying to get ready for the season, and then to potentially not have one, and the guys who are trying to get looks to potentially play professionally one day. I just feel for them and grieve for them. I have a lot of friends that still go to Ohio State, classmates that I went to school with. So just seeing that there's a possibility for them, postponing or not having a season at all. I just, feel for them because I know they worked really hard for it. And, I hope that the season happens for them.